Another amazing story that I'd like to share with you actually takes place in Alabama with the principal of a high school there who was friends with JJ and Melanie. And the principal of this school just was so impacted by Cooper's legacy that he wanted to share it with the students at his school. And God really used Cooper's life to shake up this entire school and get some students on fire and passionate for the Lord. So let's go and hear about that story now.
A few weeks after the funeral, JJ and Mel consented to come spend some time with Sarah and me, my wife Sarah. And we live in Alabama, and the days leading up to when they were gonna come visit us, I couldn't get two words out of my mind. The last two words that Cooper said on this earth, flame on. And I thought, you know, that's a legacy. And I know you don't usually think of, it's probably strange to think of a 5-year-old having a legacy, but everybody that knew Cooper knew that his whole life was lived wide open. You know, he had great passion in his life. And so when you think of Cooper, those two words just fit so well. The day that JJ and Mel came to our home, they also came to a football game that night. I had prevailed on them to come to the football game. That afternoon, knowing that they were coming to the football game, I talked to Coach Jennings and I said, I got something I'd really like to say to the football. He had asked, said, sometime I want you to speak to the team. And I said, I think it's today. And they have a pregame meal, so I talked to him during the pregame meal. And I brought that picture, and I had read that morning the verse in 2 Timothy 1:6 where Paul was telling Timothy, fan into flame the gift that's in you. The points I made with him were pretty simple, you know. You don't know how many football games you've got left. You don't know what your life is like tomorrow, the next day, or whatever. Nobody would have predicted that Cooper Jasper had 5 years. But I want to encourage you to do what he did. He lived life wide open. Whether it was in the class, whether it was on the football field, whatever they were doing, live life with passion. Boy, did they take that and run with it. This was several hours before JJ and Melanie were coming to the football game. Well, I didn't think any more about what I had said to them until that night. I have a little thing where I'll meet them at the gate and encourage the team when they come on the field. And so I met them at the gate when they were coming in. The running back came up there and he held his hands out and he had tape around both arms, flame on. And one of our receivers had the thing that they do sometimes under the Philippians 4:13 verse. He had flame on. And I saw that all over the place for their football players that night. JJ and Melanie came to the game, and about halftime, we had the game pretty well in hand, so we went down to talk to them, the cheerleaders at halftime, and they met JJ and Mel's daughters and spent some time with them. Everybody just surrounded them. Our whole school just surrounded. One of the things I'll never forget as long as I live happened after that ball game was over. So what we did was we went up to the locker room. We were going to go in, and I was just going to introduce him and say, hey, this is JJ Jasper, the one I was telling you about, Cooper Jasper's dad. And just before we opened the door to go in the locker room, we heard the whole football team on the inside. They said 1, 2, 3, flame on. They didn't even know JJ was coming up there, but I thought that was awesome. And those guys, one by one, lined up, every single one of them. And they came by and either shook his hand or gave him a sweaty hug and said, Mr. Jasper, we're thinking about you, or Mr. Jasper, we're praying for you. All kinds of things. It just blew me away. The next day, when I came back to school, one of the cheerleaders came to see me and said, Mr. Hallman, we'd like for you to approve a senior shirt. They brought this shirt by that that says seniors on the front, and Flame on the back. Now we've got this thing going on at Susan High School where if things are going badly or somebody needs encouragement or the game's not going well, they don't need a lot of dialogue. One person can just say to another person, hey, flame on. And I hear that all the time at our school. And then nothing else needs to be said.